Who is radicalizing the Bangladeshi youth?
Elements from different countries are radicalizing.
Is this the West?
I mean, we've seen even different media outlets like Al Jazeera being used to agitate the radicals, to bring them out on the street. And whether it is Western or Eastern, respectable news outlets, brands have done this in recent past. We've seen incidences where foreign missions were training preachers in the country. I mean, the contents of which we were not very privy to. On social media platforms, when we were regulating or monitoring extreme preaching against women, against children, against liberal learnings of Islam, we were accused of
missions like?
Of course, I mean, you've seen different foreign missions have declared things in their own way.
Is it the US foreign mission?
I mean, the social media platforms, if you look at the social media platforms, there were indications where absurd things were being shown.
By
in the social media platforms of the embassies. For example, on Fridays, of course, America is a secular country, liberal country where the church and the state is separate. But the U.S. Embassy at that time, under the leadership of the envoy of that time, were showing every Friday pictures of mosques across the country with the Jummah Mubarak written on it. Was it to win the hearts and minds of the extremists, or was it to incite them, or was it to prove that we are with you if you are to take up weapon and oust a secular government? There were a lot of such subtle actions. At the same time, clear, direct assistance to many of these extreme elements. So, I mean, at the very beginning, before a single death toll, the envoy at that time had declared 7 people have died. So, as if the script was written before the incident. And then eventually 7 to 8 people died. So, how did they know 7 people had died? Not a single person had died when the statement was made. So the timing was a bit mismatched. But eventually 7 people had died. So this kind of scripted actions to suggest that elements were firmly at play.
What else did your government do, Mr. Chowdhury, that rubbed Washington the wrong way?
Certain individuals who were in power, especially the Biden family, especially the Clintons, especially the Soroses. So these families who had a nexus with Mr. Yunus, it was their intention, or it was their assistance that was lent to the people there, the rioters. But there were other issues there as well. I mean, if you look at certain actions of some NGOs, especially from the United States, naming a few, I mean, USAID, for example, or International Republican Institute, they were running campaign against our government for a while, since 2018. And I should say this, there is a nexus between the Hillary Clinton family, the Clinton family, and the interim Yunus regime from a very long past. And these activities were going on for a long time. They weren't very open. They were hell-bent on changing the government in Bangladesh, especially after 2018. IRI was active, USAID's fundings were going to nowhere. $29 million came in 1 year to 2 NGOs. Where had that money gone to? It was destined for regime change activities. Rappers were being paid for. Cultural activists were being paid for. The Hijra community, the transgender, the third gender community were being paid for. Whilst the extremists, the jihadi militants were also being paid for to fight those liberal elements. So a chaos was carefully planned with this money. And then the chaos was turned into a big riot. In the riot, there were careful killings, assassinations using sniper rifles, and trained rioters, trained killers were deployed. So yeah, it was a meticulous design as claimed by Mr. Yunus.